Senator Ossoff.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Hi again, Judge Garland. I want to return to the question of the department's authorities and mission to defend voting rights. And note that Sunday would have been Congressman John Lewis's 81st birthday. And as you know, he committed his life and indeed nearly lost his life in the struggle for voting rights. But as we speak, Georgia's state legislature is considering legislation that would make it harder for Georgians to vote. For example, to end Sunday early voting, which is used heavily by black and working class voters, to cut the window during which voters can participate via absentee ballot, which would make it harder for seniors to vote. And I'm not asking you to comment on these specific bills, but what I'm hoping you can provide is an assurance that the Department of Justice will diligently and fully enforce constitutional and statutory guarantees of the rights to vote.
I give you my complete assurance. Yes, Senator.
Thank you so much. I'd also like to discuss with you resources available for public defenders' offices around the country. And a visit to a municipal court in any major American city will reveal that a steady stream of low-income defendants lacking the resources to hire their own attorneys are often represented by overworked and under-resourced public defenders, which contributes to class and race bias in the justice system, and in my view is an affront to the constitutional guarantee of due process as well as of equal protection. So will you work with my office and this committee to determine whether grant programs which may already exist at the department to support local public defenders' offices or which may need to be created can be considered in legislation that this committee and the Senate may consider?
I will, Senator. There's no equal justice in the United States unless everybody has equal access to justice. My own experience, our federal public defender's office is terrific. Needs resources. The federal public defenders across the country, I've tried my best when I was in an administrative position to provide as many resources as possible. The same for our lawyers who volunteer under the Criminal Justice Act. The difference between having an excellent lawyer and not can make all the difference in the world. And I think we should give all the resources that we can. And with respect to the local courts and local public defenders, have to be through grant programs. But of course, to the extent Congress is willing, I'm strongly in favor.
Well, I appreciate that answer, and I look forward to working with you, I hope, and the chairman and ranking member on those grant programs. And finally, I want to return to the discussion that we had earlier about pattern or practice investigations. And I just want to urge you that if you are confirmed and as you take this office, and there will be so many demands on your time and your attention and important missions for the department to fight violent crime and to defend our national security, that you personally exercise leadership within the department to ensure that the Civil Rights Division's mission is elevated and emphasized, and that you come to this committee to seek and secure any resources that you need to make that real. And just to illustrate why I believe that's so important, the South Fulton Jail in my home state of Georgia has been known to the public for years to have appalling conditions for incarcerated people. And actually, in the last month, a federal court ordered changes to practices within the jail. But it was after years of litigation. The U.S. Attorney's Office did file a brief in the case, but the litigation was brought by independent nonprofit plaintiffs. Years it took for changes to be ordered by a federal court. I'm going to read you a quote from the plaintiff's brief to illustrate the conditions in this jail. And I want to warn the public viewing this on television that the material is graphic. Quote, "The cells were covered in bodily fluids, rust, and mold. In these conditions, the inmates deteriorated, leaving them incoherent, screaming unintelligibly, laying catatonic, banging their heads against walls, and repeatedly attempting suicide. This refers to the solitary confinement of women with severe psychiatric disorders. in the South Fulton Jail in Georgia. And these conditions are not unique to this facility. So I want to urge you and ask you one more time, please, respectfully, Judge Garland, your commitment to elevate this mission within the department and to work to secure the human rights of incarcerated people and the American public with all of the power you'll have in this position.
Well, you have my commitment. The Civil Rights Division has responsibilities and some authorities in these areas, and so is quite capable of pursuing these kinds of cases. I took to heart what the chairman said with respect to the role that Robert Kennedy played when he was the Attorney General. And I regard my responsibilities with respect to the Civil Rights Division as at the top of my major priorities lists. So you have my commitment to do everything I can in this area.
Thank you. And just with the chairman's indulgence, Judge, will you commit to reviewing any materials that are sent to you by Congress or by entities such as the NAACP or the Southern Center for Human Rights where it pertains to conditions of incarceration?
So, so that I have some time to be able to read everything that I need to read. If it's all right with you, I'll commit to being sure that the head of the Civil Rights Division and the Associate Attorney General, Ms. Clark and Ms. Gupta, who are directly responsible, do that and then brief me about it. I will, to the extent possible, read them myself, but I've already committed to reading a 400-page document, and there are only so many hours in my day.
Understand the department's conditions, what I'm looking for. So thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.